Did you know that the average person spends over 10,000 hours of their life just cleaning up around the house? It sounds totally crazy, but let's be real. We have all been there. It is a lazy Sunday morning. You just want to chill on the couch, but your place looks like a literal tornado went through it. Today, I am going to share a super relatable story about a family dealing with this exact Sunday struggle. But to make this even better, right up front, I am giving you the 10 questions and answers we are going to unlock today. This is going to spark your curiosity because these are things native speakers use all the time. Question 1. What is the exact difference between messy and dirty? Answer: messy means things are out of place, while dirty means something actually needs washing with soap. Question 2. How do you really pronounce the word clothes? Answer: you just say close like closing a door. Question 3. Why do we say I'll try my best instead of I will try my best? Answer: because native speakers always use contractions to sound more casual and friendly. Question 4. What does it mean to tidy up? Answer: it means organizing things, not scrubbing them. Question 5. Why do we say if we finish, we'll go? Answer: it is a grammar rule for real possibilities called the first conditional. Question 6. What does the slang phrase "worth it" mean? Answer: it means the reward is bigger than the hard work it took to get it. Question 7. How do you use the phrase "almost stepped on"? Answer: you use almost plus the past tense verb to talk about a near accident. Question 8. What is the difference between sweeping and mopping? Answer: sweeping is with a dry broom, mopping is with a wet tool. Question 9. Why do we say youngest instead of most young? Answer: short descriptive words get an estate at the end when comparing 3 or more people. Question 10. How do you pronounce gelato perfectly? Answer: with a soft G sound and the stress on the law part. So let me set the scene for you. It is a Sunday morning, and this family is having a slow start. The kids, Emma and Max, are ready to just sit back and watch cartoons. The dad wants to relax, but the mom looks around and realizes the house is completely out of control. Max has his plastic dinosaur toys literally everywhere. The kitchen is a disaster, and the bedrooms need serious help. She tells everyone that today is the day they are going to clean the house together. You know how everyone loves watching a good clean with me video on the internet? Well, this mom was trying to make that happen in real life. Of course, nobody wanted to do it. Max is begging to watch his shows, and even the dad is low-key trying to get out of it by saying the house is just a little messy. But the mom is not having it. She reminds the dad that he literally almost crushed a toy dinosaur under his foot that morning. Then, she drops the ultimate bribe. She tells them that if they all work together and clean the whole house today, she will take everyone to their absolute favorite Italian restaurant for lunch. We are talking fresh pizza, warm pasta, and anything they want. Suddenly, everyone's attitude totally flips. The dad takes the garage and the backyard. Emma agrees to clean her bedroom and the living room. Little Max promises to put all his toys away in the right boxes. They all get to work. Dad actually gets the garage looking amazing and even helps mom wipe down the kitchen shelves. Max works super hard, picking up every single dinosaur and even helping his sister mop the living room floor. By the end of it, the house looks incredible. Everything is fresh, organized, and totally put together. The mom is super proud, and because Max was the youngest but still worked so hard without complaining, she tells him he gets to order a special dessert at the restaurant. He immediately yells out that he wants chocolate gelato. Everyone is exhausted and hungry, but as they head out the door, they all agree that the hard work was completely worth it. Honestly, listening to everyday situations like this is the absolute best way to learn English through story. Now, let's jump straight into breaking down those 10 questions we talked about earlier. I am going to explain each one in detail so you can start using them in your own conversations today. Question 1. What is the exact difference between messy and dirty? Answer: let's talk about the difference between messy and dirty. This is a huge vocabulary point. In the story, the dad says the house is just a little messy. Messy means things are scattered around. When you have books on the floor, clothes on the bed, and shoes in the hallway, Your room is messy. You just need to pick things up and put them away. But dirty is totally different. Dirty means there is grease, mud, or dust. If you spill coffee on the floor is dirty. You need water, soap, or spray to clean it. So, a room can be messy without being dirty, and a kitchen can be dirty even if there is no mess on the counters. Native speakers use these two words very specifically, so always remember, mess is about clutter, dirt is about grime. Question 2. How do you really pronounce the word clothes? Answer: when Emma says she folded all her clothes, she does not say clothes. This is a pronunciation trick that will make you sound instantly like a native speaker. The spelling has a th and an s at the end, which makes it look super complicated to say. But in everyday American English, especially among younger people, we completely drop the th sound. We just say close. It sounds exactly the same as when you say, "Please close the door. I folded my clothes. I need to buy new clothes." If you try to force the th sound, it actually makes your speech sound a bit robotic and choppy. So just relax your tongue and say close. It is so much easier, and it is exactly how we speak in real life. Question 3. Why do we say "I'll try my best" instead of "I will try my best"? Answer: this is a grammar and speaking habit all wrapped into one. When the mom asks Max to put his toys away, he says, "I'll try my best." He uses the contraction "I'll" instead of the two words "I will." In American English, we almost always use contractions when we speak. Saying "I will try my best" sounds very serious, almost like you are making a legal promise. It sounds a bit too formal for just talking to your mom in the living room. "I'll" is fast, it is smooth, and it keeps the conversation moving. Gen Z and millennials are all about speaking efficiently, so next time you want to promise something casually, just squeeze those words together and say "I'll." Question 4. What does it mean to tidy up? Answer: when mom tells Emma to help tidy the living room, she uses a really common phrasal verb. Tidy up basically means to make things look neat. It is an action. You are not pulling out a vacuum cleaner or a bucket of soapy water when you tidy up. You are fluffing the pillows on the couch, you are stacking the magazines on the coffee table, and you are putting the remote control back near the TV. It is the final step you take to make a room look nice and put together. People use this a lot when guests are coming over. You might say, "Give me 5 minutes to tidy up before you come inside." It is a great everyday vocabulary word that sounds very natural. Question 5. Why does the mom say, "If we finish everything, we'll go to the restaurant"? Answer: this is grammar, specifically the first conditional. This is how you make promises or deals in English. The structure is simple. You use "if" plus the present tense, and then the second part of the sentence uses "will" plus the verb. If we finish, we will go. The mom is talking about a real possibility in the future. She is saying that this lunch is a sure thing, as long as the cleaning gets done. You can use this pattern in your everyday life all the time. For example, if I wake up early, I will get coffee. If you help me study, I will buy you lunch. It is the best way to talk about cause and effect when you are making plans. Question 6. What is the exact meaning of the slang phrase "worth it"? Answer: at the end of the story, someone says they are tired, but the cleaning was worth it. This is a massive vocabulary phrase for casual English. When something is worth it, it means the value of what you got is completely equal to, or even better than, the pain, money, or effort you spent to get it. Cleaning the whole house on a Sunday morning is annoying. It takes energy, but sitting down with your family to eat amazing pizza and chocolate gelato makes you forget all about the hard work. The reward was awesome, so the struggle was worth it. You can say this about anything. Waiting in a long line for a great movie, totally worth it. Studying hard to pass a test, worth it. Question 7. How do you use the phrase "almost stepped on"? Answer: the mom complains that she almost stepped on a toy dinosaur. This is a great grammar pattern for telling stories. We use the word "almost" followed by a verb in the past tense to talk about something bad or surprising that came super close to happening, but didn't actually happen. Her foot came right down next to the toy, but she caught herself just in time. When you are telling your friends about your day, this pattern is your best friend. You can say, "I almost dropped my phone," or I almost forgot my keys. It builds a little bit of drama and excitement in your daily conversations, and it lets people know how close you are to a totally different outcome. Question 8. What is the difference between sweeping and mopping? Answer. What is the difference between sweeping and mopping? Max helped mop the living room floor. This is a common vocabulary confusion. Sweeping is what you do with a broom. A broom has dry bristles, and you use it to push dust, dirt, and hair into a little pile so you can throw it away. You sweep to get the dry mess off the floor. Mopping is what happens next. A mop has wet strings or a wet pad attached to it, and you dip it in a bucket of soapy water. You mop to clean the sticky spots and make the hard floors shine. You cannot mop a carpet, and you cannot really sweep a wet spill. So, sweep first to get the dust, then mop to get the floor perfectly clean. Question 9. Why do we say youngest instead of most young? Answer. When the mom praises Max, she calls him the youngest. This is an important grammar rule for comparing things. When we want to say someone is at the absolute top or bottom of a category, we use superlatives. But English has two ways to do this. For short words, like young, fast, or tall, we just add a state to the end. Youngest, fastest, tallest. We never say most young. However, if the describing word is long, like beautiful or expensive, then we use the word most. You would say most beautiful, not beautifulest. Since young is just one single, short sound, we simply stick that a state on the end. Max is the youngest in the family, and that is why he got this special dessert. Question 10. How do you pronounce gelato perfectly? Answer. When Max yells that he wants chocolate gelato, he is talking about Italian ice cream. But native English speakers have adopted this word into our everyday vocabulary. To say it naturally in an American accent, we do not use a hard G sound like in the word go. We use a soft G sound, which sounds exactly like a J. It starts like the word jelly, G, then the middle part gets all the stress and power, and the A sounds like ha, la. Finally, it ends with a simple to, gelato. If you stress the first part and say gelato, it sounds unnatural. Lean into that middle sound. Going to a gelato shop is a huge weekend activity here, so mastering this pronunciation makes you sound totally local. I hope you enjoyed this story and learned a ton from these 10 questions. Everyday English is all about understanding these little details that make you sound natural and confident. If you found this helpful and want to keep leveling up your speaking skills with real-life stories, please hit that like button and make sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and keep practicing with Learn English with Jennifer. See you next time.